I know everybody a go lie. I know everybody a go lie. Success don't come overnight. No matter no substance over hype. Do it for the love, me not do it for the life.
What's good? Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real. I'm live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Keeping It Real is your go-to show for personal and professional development, diving deep into fitness, public speaking, networking, and sometimes real estate. I appreciate you joining me tonight, whether live or you're watching on the replay. But again, if you're live, this is a live show, say hello in the comments. Let me know. Let's connect. This isn't just a show. This is the start of a growing community. Together, we can build a space where like-minded individuals can connect, learn, and grow personally and professionally. What's next in your personal or professional development? Let me know. What's next in your journey? Comment below. Like I said, it's live, so I want to see those comments coming in. Let's kick this journey off together. Hello, I'm Jason Harris, and I'm unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston, but maybe not this far south. Also known as Coach FitPro J, your diet-free fat loss specialist. I'm the coach who talks the talk and walks the walk. I've been there, done that, and now I empower real estate professionals and entrepreneurs to take control of their nutrition and fitness without feeling overwhelmed, by keeping it simple, keeping it moving, and keeping it real. Welcome to the weekly live broadcast, Keeping It Real. Man, I really got to take some time if you could do that. But I need to take some time and change that intro or do something to it. Maybe Q2, we'll see. Anyhow, tonight we're going to start with the core 4 of networking segment. And then after that, from stage fright to spotlight, the public speaking segment of the show. And then we'll get into fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. And then we'll finish up with the real estate roundup segment. So let's get started. The core 4 of networking. Networking is an essential skill in both business and personal development. In the core 4 of networking segment, I break down the key practices for building strong, lasting relationships. Do you know about the core 4 of networking? Do you know what they are? Do you even network? Here, let me show you a short clip to get you guys up to speed on what the core 4 of networking are. What's up? I'm here with Al to give you guys another networking tip. We've given you 3 so far, and today we're going to give you a 4th. But before we do, let's recap. What's the first thing they got to do, Al?
Show up.
You got to be present and accounted for. What's the second thing?
Be yourself.
You be you, your authentic self, because nobody likes fake people. Not a good look. What's number 3?
Pay attention.
You got to do some active listening. You got to know what's going on. You don't want to stare into somebody's eyes and nod your head thinking about what you got to say next. Pay attention. And now that the recap's done, I think the 4th one's the most important. What do you think, Al?
Oh yeah, there's no point in doing all 3 if you don't do the 4th.
That's right. So why is the 4th so important now?
Because the fortune's in the FU.
What do you mean?
Fortune's in the follow-up.
Ah, that's right, follow up. Don't have a conversation with somebody, take their business card, and then do nothing. Follow up. Speaking of following up, if you guys would like to hear more networking tips from Al and myself, comment more or yes please underneath this video. And Al, what are we going to do after they make that comment?
Follow up.
Haha, that's right. See you guys later. All right. Now that you guys are up to speed on the core 4 of networking, I'll be breaking down the core 4 1 week at a time. Week 1, show up. Why simply being present can open doors to success. Week 2, be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. Week 3, which is where we're at now, pay attention. The importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. And then week 4, next week, follow up. How to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting. That is the core 4 of networking, folks. I'd like to know from you at home, which of the 4 steps, showing up, being yourself, paying attention, or following up, do you think has had the biggest impact on your success? personally or professionally, and which one do you need the most work on? Which one do you need to work on the most? Let me know. And again, do you even network? All right, help me help you. Please share your answer in the comments. And speaking of comments, we have one here. Oh, cool. We got Rosa again. Hey, good night. Good night. Awesome. Thanks for showing up. All right, moving on. In addition to exploring the core 4 of networking, this segment will also showcase local members of the networking organizations that I'm affiliated with, as well as other businesses and professionals that are in my network. I'll also provide insights on local networking events that I attend. This Monday is week 3, so tonight's topic is pay attention, the importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. In a world buzzing with distractions, true connection begins when you listen to connect, not just to respond, all right? So you want to listen to connect, not just respond. If you ever found yourself mentally prepping for your next comment while someone else is talking, tonight's topic is just for you. Stick around for practical tips and a simple exercise to level up your listening game and have a listening impression or a lasting impression. Listening impression. See what I did there? Did you catch that? All right, let's get started. So listening to connect, not just to respond. Like I said, many people listen just long enough to jump in with their own story or pitch or what they're trying to say. So true connection actually happens when you listen with the intention of understanding, not just waiting for your turn to talk. All right. So you want to listen with intention, the intention that you want to understand what the other person is saying to you. All right. That's huge. Let me give you an example. So imagine you're at a networking event and someone's telling you all about their business. All right. You're nodding along, but instead of really hearing them and listening, you're mentally rehearsing your elevator pitch. And then when they finish, you dive into your spiel, only to realize you missed a golden opportunity to connect on a shared interest that they had just mentioned. Ouch. You don't want to do that. That's horrible. I'm going to give you a pro tip. Try using the 2-second rule. The 2-second rule. After someone finishes speaking, just pause for 2 seconds before responding. It shows you're absorbing their words and not just waiting to talk. So again, the 2-second rule, you got to try that. All right. And then I'll give you an exercise, a practical exercise that you can do too. So at your next networking event, right? At the next networking event that you go to, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to ask at least 2 follow-up questions before talking about yourself. So if you're having a conversation with someone that's telling you all this stuff, all this information, ask 2 follow-up questions about what you just heard, before saying anything about yourself. This not only deepens the conversation, but it makes you more memorable. After all, people love someone who makes them feel heard. So make them feel heard. There's nothing wrong with that. When you shift from hearing to actively listening, you unlock deeper connections and more meaningful connections and conversations. That's what we're here for, right? Remember, the goal isn't just to wait for your turn to talk. It's to understand, engage, and make others feel heard. So at your next networking event, try the 2-second rule and challenge yourself to ask 2 follow-up questions before you share. Simple, right? These are small shifts that can lead to big breakthroughs. I'm telling you, you need to try this. All right, so let me go ahead and before we end this segment, check out the comments we have here. Rosa, again, what we got, Rosa? You are paying attention. Thank you for paying attention. I appreciate that. I wonder who else is paying attention. Maybe we get some other comments up here. We'll see. Anyhow, so next Monday happens to be week 4. So the topic will be follow-up. How to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting. Are you interested in being a guest on my show? Reach out. I'd love to have you. I really would. And if you catch me at a networking event, don't hesitate to pull me aside and be like, hey, Jay, let's go ahead and do a video. All right? We'll make some on-camera magic happen. All right. Next up is the public speaking segment of the show. From stage fright to spotlight, It is our comprehensive public speaking segment designed to help you master this crucial skill. Whether you're speaking to a large audience or just in front of a small group, this segment of the show will give you the tools you need to shed the stage fright and step confidently into the spotlight. All right. So this segment of the show will also have guest appearances from some of my fellow Toastmasters, and I have some lined up. Going to do some pre-recording this coming Friday, as a matter of fact. But tonight I have some of my fellow Toastmasters joining us. If you don't know what Toastmasters happens to be, let me explain that to you. Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. I happen to belong to the Spirited Speakers Club out of Middleborough, Massachusetts. And we currently meet virtually right now. We're going to be hybrid soon. We're going to be in person and virtual. But right now we currently meet virtually on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month. So I want you to stay tuned, because at the end of this segment, I'll show you how you can actually visit my next Toastmaster meeting virtually. All right. So on tonight's From Stage Fright to Spotlight segment, I have special guests, Suzanne and Sean, with me. Two of my fellow Toastmasters. They're in my club. We'll be putting our impromptu speaking skills to the test by having some fun with the table topics part of a Toastmaster meeting. And don't worry about it. Suzanne is here to break down the table topics role, what it is, why it matters, and how it can sharpen your ability to think and speak on the fly. It really can. So after that, well, Sean and I are gonna step right into the hot seat for a round of table topics live. No scripts, no safety net, just pure off the cuff fun. Please stand by while I cue up that video. Wait for Sean to come in. But how you doing this evening, Suzanne?
I'm doing great, Jason. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know we're waiting for Sean, but could you please introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are and what it is that you do?
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, I've been in Toastmasters for a number of years. I think since 2012, actually, and I've never looked back. I'm still a member. I still love it. I am a fourth grade teacher. I have used my Toastmaster skills in many capacities, in meetings, even with family, and it really has helped me immensely. So I'm looking forward to share my experience tonight with your audience and to have a little fun with table topics.
Awesome. Awesome. And then let's see here. Let me see if I can get Sean, at least on audio. See if we can get him here. Hey, Sean, you there at least with the audio?
I will be with you in just a minute. I'm switching to my computer.
You go right ahead, and what I'll do is I'll just have Suzanne explain table talks and whatnot. So, okay, Suzanne is going to talk about her experience with the role of table topics, and also explain what the role is all about. After that, when Sean gets here shortly, Sean and I are going to be put to the test, and we're going to participate in table topics live with no safety net. And you'll know what that means in a second when Suzanne talks about what the table topics are. So take it away, Suzanne.
All right. Thank you, Jason. So table topics is a segment of a Toastmaster meeting, and it's kind of like a game. And how it works is that people who volunteer are given a question that they have no idea what the question is, and they have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question. Now, when I first joined Toastmasters, I hated table topics, hated it. I never wanted to answer questions. I never volunteered. It was completely intimidating to me because I couldn't even think about what I was going to say. And one day I just figured, well, it's only 1 minute. It's 1 to 2 minutes. You can say anything for 1 to 2 minutes, right? So finally, one day I raised my hand to volunteer for table topics. I got the question. I don't remember what the question was. All I remember is I think I had 11 ums, and I barely made it to 30 seconds. It was terrible. However, since then, I continued to, that first time was terrible, but once I got that under my belt, I was able to volunteer in the future meetings and I got a little bit better. And I learned from watching my fellow Toastmasters that there are some strategies you can use for answering questions when they're thrown at you and you don't know what to say. A couple of those strategies I'm going to share. And
I was going to ask you, Suzanne, what are some of those
probably
strategies?
Use them yourself, but I'll share them with the audience. One of the strategies that a lot of Toastmasters will use when they get a question that they're not expecting is they'll say something like, "Wow, that's a great question." And they'll often repeat the question like, "Wow, what is my favorite color? That's such a great question. Thank you for asking." They'll thank the question asker. "Thank you for asking that great question." So these kinds of strategies will buy you some time to think about a response. So that's one strategy that I've noticed a lot of experienced table topics answerers will use.
So repeat the question to the question.
The table topics master. Repeat the question. Thank you for that question, and then say, my favorite color. I'd never thought about my favorite color before. That's such an interesting question, and that gives you time to think about what am I going to say. Gives you a little thinking time. The other strategy that I've noticed some experienced table topics folks will use is the pivot, and you see this a lot in political debates. We saw it most recently. If you watch the political debate, you might be asked a question and you don't even answer it. You just find a way to talk about something somewhat related to the topic, but the goal is to find a way to speak for 1 minute. And I've noticed that some of the experienced speakers will pivot on the question, and that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly acceptable because the goal is to speak for 1 minute. So maybe tonight we'll see some pivoting. Maybe we'll see some thanking and repeating from when I share my table topics questions tonight with both of you. Maybe not. It's not a requirement, but it's definitely a strategy. I've seen Sean use these strategies before, and it's a lot of fun. It's really just meant to be fun. And I also wanted to share that in terms of my experience with Toastmasters, whenever I was asked to speak or run a meeting or give a presentation in the past before I joined Toastmasters, I would ask myself or ask the person, like, why me? Do I have to? Really? Whereas now that I have the experience and I've had some exercises and opportunities to practice speaking with an audience, and the question I ask is, well, how much time do I have? So it's no longer scary. I have strategies for organizing. I have strategies for thinking about what my point is, and there's lots and lots of tools that are given to you as part of a Toastmaster meeting and club.
Yeah, one of the for table topics, as far as stalling is concerned, to think. I love that one. Re-asking the question to the table topics master to think. I think I might use that one this evening. I don't know. But I think maybe since Sean hasn't been able to speak yet, I mean, do you have anything to say about table topics at all before Suzanne puts us on the spot?
Yeah, I was just going to say I love table topics. It's a great time to just get those impromptu skills. I'm sure Suzanne mentioned this, but again, for me, I always think about table topics as that awkward moment in a business meeting where your boss points at you and asks you a question, and you're like, oh no, let me hide. Table topics, once you've done it long enough, you will overcome that fear of ever being called on in a meeting or in any environment to ask a random question. That is the beauty of table topics. And I love that Suzanne already preferenced some strategies with table topics. One of my favorites is just to think of random stories that could fit into any question. So if you ask me, what's my favorite color? It's a one-word answer, but with table topics, we always want to know why. So you might talk about a story that relates to something from your childhood. Well, that same story might not just apply to what your favorite color is, but could also apply to a question like, hey, tell me a story from your childhood, or tell me about your favorite memory with a parent. So you can use the same stories in multiple situations. So a little pro tip there.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think, are we ready? Already? I mean, it's table topics, so I mean, you can only be as ready as you can be ready, right? So
You're ready. You're ready up to the point that after you hear the question.
right. So who wants to go first? You want to go first, Sean? Guess first.
Absolutely. Why not? Go ahead, Suzanne. Hit me with
All
your
right, Sean.
question.
Thank you for taking the risk and stepping up. So because it's October, I thought we'd have a fall theme. And I have 3 questions. And you can pick number 1, 2, or 3. And they're loosely related to fall.
All right. Well, give me number 3.
Number 3. Number 3, falling off a log. Something that's so easy. It's like falling off a log. I want to talk about something that either happened to you or you did or you find really simple and easy for yourself. It's almost like falling off a log.
Well, thank you for that question, Suzanne. As again, what is something easy for me that I would consider like it'd be as easy as falling off a log, which again, my children do very often with balancing at the playground or just getting all over the place. Speaking of the fall and one of our favorite activities we just did this weekend was we went pumpkin picking. And that question also made me think of the place that we went has this huge pyramid of haystacks. And my youngest, Dominic, who's there, climbed up to the top and, well, was going to jump all the way off, but then decided better to go one stage lower. But jumped off the haystack into a pile of hay. So that was interesting. But for me, I have always found things with technology very easy, like falling off a log. I was that child or grandchild that my parents or grandparents would get something new, like when we got cable for the first time or when we got any kind of technology, they'd be like, I don't know how to work this. Give it to Sean. He'll figure it out. He'll install it. He'll tell us how it works. And I was always really from a young age excellent at that. Just figuring out, like, when computers first started, was really easy to learn for me and teach to other people. And then, so just, yeah, anything with technology has been really easy. I'm very good at a lot of things that my coworkers are not good at, like things like Excel and PowerPoint, and they struggle with those things. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Give me a good Excel spreadsheet or a PowerPoint to put together, and I am happy I can do that. It's like falling off a log. So thank you, Suzanne, for that amazing question. And back to you.
Wow. Right at 2 minutes. Someone got to time me. That was great.
Timing, by the way, Jason, I forgot about that part. Right.
Yeah. I just right at the last minute. I figured it.
On the spot. Well, I don't know if the audience noticed, but Sean used every single strategy that we mentioned. He started off with repeating the question and thanking the speaker. He also started right off the bat with a pivot to a family story. So he told the story about doing something with his family that very, very loosely related to the question, and then came all the way back to the actual question finally at the end, which I think gave him plenty of time to think of a response. So that was brilliant, Sean. Thank you for that awesome response too.
And Suzanne, I don't know if you mentioned this to the audience, but another strategy that I implore a lot is at the beginning, the pause.
Yes, I noticed that too. Yes, I meant to mention that.
So just stopping, giving about 15 to 20 seconds of repeat the question back into your head and loosely think about what's that first thing you're going to start with, and then just let it roll from there. So that's really what the pause can do. It can give you just that extra 15, 20 seconds of time to think, maybe pull out that story that you're going to incorporate into your table topics. But that's another great strategy. You don't have to, the minute the question's been asked, jump right in. No, take your time, but be respectful. 20 seconds is more than enough time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, that was great. So, and I feel like that's one of the aspects of public speaking that takes the longest to get used to is pausing.
Exactly. Gives people a chance to think. Who wants to time me?
I'm going to be timing you, Jason, but I'm not going to
Awesome.
be so generous and give you the actual time. I'll just time you. You're going to have to see
it's
if we
all
can
good.
stay within that 1 to 2 minutes.
That'll work. All right, Madam Tabletop, it's Master. What am I working with
All
here?
right. You have a choice between 1 or 2.
Oh, well, number 1.
Number 1. All right. Number 1. Talk about when you fell for something, but you had no regrets. Something you fell for, but it was a good thing. You're glad you did. No regrets.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, for asking me that question. And to repeat the question, what was something that I have fell for that I have no regrets? Something that I fell for that I had no regrets is one time I was standing out front of this ice cream place when I was a kid. And, I was alone. I didn't have my parents with me. Those days when you weren't with your parents back in the day. Kids don't do that these days. But I was out on my bike, and then I ended up it was like a Dairy Queen type place. And I was out front, and it was during the summertime. And I just was sitting there after riding my bike for a little bit. I was just taking a rest. And then I noticed on this table, there was this brand spanking new ice cream just sitting there on the table. And there wasn't really anybody around. And it was just sitting there. It's not melted yet, so there's nothing wrong with it. I looked at it, and then, yes, as a kid, I did eat it. I ate it, and I don't regret it. I don't regret eating it, but I ate it. And there was nothing wrong with it. And after I was finished, I rode off on my bike, off into the distance. But I just didn't regret it. It was actually a happy moment in life, to tell you the truth. And I thought I was falling for a joke. I thought I was falling for a joke because it was just there. It was weird. I don't know why it was there, but it was there. I thought someone was trying to prank me and I was going to fall for a joke, but it didn't happen. So I ate it. I don't regret it. And I just drove away. And that was it. So that is something that I thought I was going to fall for anyway. And then I didn't regret it. So back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Jason. I noticed you employed a couple of strategies, including the pause and the repeating the question and the thank you and the story. I love it.
How'd I do on time?
Jason, you could be the next pro table topics person because 2 minutes on the dot.
Yes. All right.
Nice job. So are you, Sean. That was amazing. Just in case you're wondering what number 2 was, probably the easiest question was about pumpkin spice. Just say that for another time.
Awesome. Thanks,
and you know what?
Master.
You hear that sometimes and you go, oh, I dodged a bullet on that one because I had no stories for pumpkin spice. It is not something in my repertoire. I'm now going to have to think about that.
I could have ran with hey, but we got what we got tonight, so that's all right.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Thanks so much for playing. I know it was fall and not the sense of the season, so I appreciate you jumping in and having a go. That was fun.
Awesome. Well, no, thank you very much. Suzanne, Sean, thanks for being part of the show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And I look forward to having you both back on again in the future.
Hey, Jason, like I said, I'm ready to make this a regular thing.
All right. Hey, so Sean, you just need to get with me, figure out what we're doing next Monday. So what do you guys think? How's Table Topics? Would you guys do that? That was fun. And maybe a little nerve-wracking too. Well, not so much. In the beginning it is, but you get used to it like anything. It's like riding a bike. Big thanks to Suzanne for the breakdown and for helping us stretch those impromptu muscles. And I am still waiting on Sean to connect with me about the next show or what. Anyway, maybe we can get Sean on again. We'll see. Table Topics isn't just for Toastmasters, if you couldn't tell. It's a skill that can help you handle unexpected questions, sharpen your communication, and boost your confidence. Suzanne, Sean, and I belong to the Spirit Speakers Club of Toastmasters International out of Middleborough, Massachusetts. Again, we currently meet virtually on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month. If you'd like to experience a virtual meeting and see what it's all about, you can comment "spirited" under this video and I will share the link with you. The next meeting will be on next Wednesday, February 26th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss out, comment "spirited," and I'll share the meeting link with you. Even if you are watching this on the replay, you happen upon this and write "spirited," I'll get back with you. And when you do show up, you can feel free to sit back and observe from the sidelines. You know, we'll make you feel welcome, but participation is optional. No pressure, just relax and enjoy the experience. See what it's all about. Hope to see you there. Next up is the Fitness Success, the 4 Pillars of Achievement segment. Each week, I alone or with a guest will break down a specific pillar to help you build a balanced, sustainable fitness routine. Week 1, Pillar 1, master your nutrition habits, master your nutrition and fuel your body for success. Week 2, Pillar 2, stress management, practical strategies for managing life's inevitable stressors. Week 3, Pillar 3, physical activity, tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. Week 4, Pillar 4, recovery measures. Recovery is key. Learn the best ways to rest, recharge, and avoid burnout in and out of the gym. All right, this is the third Monday of the month. So our focus tonight will be on Pillar 3, physical activity, tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. Today, we're going to hop onto the time machine and travel back to a video that aired in June of 2021. All of the stuff in this video is completely valid. This video breaks down 3 reasons why weight training is more effective than cardio for fat loss and toning your body. If you've been spending hours on the treadmill since January, hoping to sculpt your dream body, you might want to rethink your approach, coming into these next few months. Summer's coming. Spoiler alert. Lifting weights isn't just for building muscle. It could actually be your secret weapon for burning fat and getting toned. Stick around because at the end, you'll know exactly why weight training takes the crown and how to balance both weight training and cardio for maximum results. Let's dive in. Please stand by while I cue up the video.
Is your favorite form of cardio? Do you like the cardio equipment at the gym, treadmill, elliptical, bike? What do you do? Do you take group fitness classes, Zumba, kickboxing, step, anything like that? Or do you play a sport? Or do you prefer outdoor activities like hiking? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what your favorite form of cardio is. All right. As far as I'm concerned, I like the Free Climber by Stairmaster. Have you guys ever heard of the the Free Climber from Stairmaster? Let me pull up that piece of equipment and show you, because it's one of my favorites for many reasons. Great cardio workout. Here it is here. All right, the Free Climber. You see, you basically go up and down like you're going up and down stairs over and over again. You can change how fast you go or how slow you go, that sort of thing. I love it because it's great for your glutes, your lower body, and just it really gives you a much better cardio workout, I find, than the treadmill or the bike or even the elliptical. It's one of the more difficult ones. So that's one of my favorites that I like to do. My favorite form of cardio. The other things I like to do, I do like group fitness. Don't really do it very often. Haven't really had a chance, especially with COVID and whatnot. But cardio kickboxing always kicks my butt. That's a good one. Or a step class even will kick your butt too. And then another thing I like to do, besides maybe hiking outside or just general outdoor activities, especially when the weather just changed. It's nice out up here in Massachusetts now. But I like to play basketball, especially full court basketball. That really gives a good cardio workout, big time. But anyway, yeah, hit me up in the comments section. I want to know, what do you guys like? What's your favorite form of cardio? All right. Hit me up in the comment section on that. I'm going to get into 3 reasons why weight training is more effective than cardio for fat loss and for toning your body. All right. So before I get into that, though, many people think they should do more cardio for toning your body. And they think about weight training. They just think about building muscle or lifting weights and building muscle. And that's all that's good for. But tonight I'm going to talk to you about how that's not actually true, or it's partially true, but it's not the whole story. So again, I have 3 reasons why weight training is more important. The first reason, overall calorie burning benefits. Okay, so overall calorie burning effects. So I'll break this down for you guys. I'll keep it simple because you know how I like to keep it simple. All right, so I'm going to give you the cardio point and then the weight training point. Okay, so overall calorie burning benefits. Okay, so as far as cardio is concerned, cardio tends to burn more calories during the workout while you're doing the workout. Yeah, you burn a little bit of calories after the fact, but most of your calorie burn from cardio comes during the workout. But I would be remiss if I did not mention there are a couple of different types of cardio. So when I'm mentioning calorie burns, cardio burns more calories during the actual activity, during the actual, when you're on the treadmill, you're on the free climber, or when you're doing the cardio, okay? That's steady state. Say you go for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and you kind of stay at one pace and you just, do your time, so to speak, on the cardio equipment. You burn a lot more calories during it than after the fact. But when you do something called high intensity interval training type of cardio, that's when you're doing very high bouts of very intense cardiovascular exercise, and then you slow down and you kind of recoup your breath and get your heart rate back down. Then you bring it way back up again and way back down. Typically people do this in bouts, 5 to 6 bouts. So to give an example of steady state versus high intensity interval training for cardio, steady state, you're on a treadmill, you're just walking, whether that's flat or uphill, whatever the case may be. And you do that for a duration, 30, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever that may be. And that's it. Okay. You burn a lot of calories while you're doing it, just a little bit after the fact. High intensity interval training type of cardio, a little bit different. So same piece of equipment, treadmill. Instead of walking, you are sprinting. So you do bouts of sprints. So maybe you warm up for 3 to 5 minutes at that steady state pace, just a regular normal pace. And then you bring the intensity way, way up by kicking the speed up and sprint for, say, 30 seconds to 60 seconds. And then you bring, after that 30 to 60 seconds bout of sprint, you bring the speed back down to like a nice walk where you can bring your heart rate down for about, say, like 2 minutes or so, and then bring it back up again. Okay, for another 30 to 60 seconds and back down and up. And again, you do that about 5 or 6 bouts. That's high intensity interval training cardio, different than steady state. So to recap, went a little bit off subject here. So overall calorie burning benefits of cardio. Cardio burns more calories while you're doing it, especially the steady state. High intensity interval training, however, you end up burning more calories after the fact. So you have a residual calorie burn. So that brings me to weight training and overall calorie burning benefits. Weight training burns more calories after the workout than actually during the workout, depending on what type of weight training you do, because you can do high intensity interval training with weights too, and have that same high intensity interval training effect as the cardio type. It's the same thing. But typically a traditional weight training workout, you don't burn as many calories while you're doing it. Okay, you're not really out of breath, again, depending on what you're doing. But the calorie burn after the weight training workout is significantly more than a steady state type of cardio. All right. High intensity interval training cardio is very close to weight training as far as after workout calorie burn. So that is the deal with that. Overall calorie burning benefits of weight training are way more than just doing cardio. All right, so that's reason number 1 why weight training is more effective at fat loss, because in order to lose fat, you have to burn as many calories as possible, right? Well, weight training burns more calories than cardio does in the long run. So that's reason number 1. And before I get into reason number 2, I want to go over to these comments, see what we got here. All right, so I did ask the question, what's your favorite form of cardio? And this one here, we have, okay, I do kickboxing, hip hop step, combat fitness, fit class. Wow, oh my, that's great cardio right there. Excellent cardio. All right, let me go ahead and get back to where we were here. We are talking, and if you did just join us, I'm going through the 3 reasons why weight training is more effective than cardio for fat loss and for toning your body. All right, and we're on reason number 2. All right, reason number 2, long-term metabolic increases. All right, and again, I'm going to talk about weight training and I'm going to talk about cardio as far as these reasons. So long-term metabolic increases. All right, so as far as weight training is concerned, weight training increases your resting metabolic rate. Your resting metabolic rate, all that is how many calories do you burn when you're not doing anything, when you're at rest, when you're sitting down like I am, when you're even laying down sleeping, when you're not doing activity, your resting metabolic rate. Weight training increases that, okay? It doesn't, we already know it increases it because because reason number 1 that we just went over, the calorie burning effects of weight training, you actually burn a ton more calories after your weight training workout. So after your weight training workout, you're burning calories because of it, even when you're sitting down doing nothing and when you're resting. And that is because of the recovery that happens. When you do weight training, you're breaking your muscles down, they're getting fatigued, and you're doing little micro tears and little positive damage to your muscles. And then after the weight training workout, about 24 to 48, usually about 38 is the sweet spot. About 38 hours after the fact, you continue to burn calories because of that damage you've done to that positive damage you've done to your muscle. All right. So you're burning calories because of the repair process that needs to happen. Your body uses calories to repair that damage while you're sitting there resting, okay, and even sleeping. So weight training increases your metabolic rate by doing weight training by itself by default. After the fact, you burn calories because of recovery. And then it also increases your lean mass or your muscle. Of course, you weight train, you gain a bit of muscle. As long as you eat enough, anyway, you eat right. But you'll definitely maintain it. But by increasing your lean muscle mass or lean mass, your muscle on your body, you're going to automatically increase your resting metabolic rate because muscle is an extremely active tissue on your body. It takes a lot of calories to have muscle on you. So any little bit of muscle you can put on you, you're going to raise your metabolic rate at rest, okay? Day after day, week after week, month after month, that stuff adds up and you just shrink. The fat it comes off, all right? Have you guys ever heard that, oh, guys lose body fat a lot quicker than females? You know, a lot of females are, they don't have as much muscle as guys. You know, guys have more muscle mass on them, so they have an easier time typically losing body fat. That's the main reason why, guys. That's the main reason why males tend to lose body fat quicker than females because of the muscle mass they have on them, because their metabolic resting rate is a lot higher because they have more muscle mass on them. So long-term metabolic increases with weight training. As far as cardio is concerned, okay, cardio can actually decrease your resting metabolic rate. It does the opposite. It eats away at your lean muscle or at your lean mass, at your muscle. And of course, I'm speaking about doing cardio only, just doing a bunch of cardio or putting most of your eggs in the cardio basket when you're trying to do fat loss. What's going to happen is your muscle mass is going to go away a little bit because you're not supporting it with weight training. You need to stimulate the muscle to keep it. If you're not stimulating that muscle and you're expending all these calories doing cardio, eventually you're going to end up losing a little bit of muscle. You will lose some fat too. We'll talk about that in a second, but you are going to lose quite a bit of muscle by just doing mostly cardio. And that's going to lower your metabolic rate because remember, the more muscle you have on you, the higher your metabolism at rest. So if you're chipping away at that, you're chipping away at your metabolism. So when you do mostly cardio for fat loss, what's happening is you're working against yourself. It's very frustrating. So long-term metabolic increases, weight training actually increases your metabolism, and putting most of your eggs in the cardio basket is going to decrease your muscle mass, which will in turn decrease your resting metabolic rate. Okay. And now, before I get into number 3, I want to look at these comments. All right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Great content. And again, I want to know what everybody does for cardio. What's your favorite form of cardio? Let me hear it. Put in the comment section. What's your favorite form of cardio? All right. I'm going to get back to, if you just joined us, 3 reasons why weight training is more effective at losing body fat and toning up your body. All right. And what I'm doing is I'm on the 3rd reason, and I'm breaking it down, the cardio portion of it and the weight training portion of it. We're on reason 3, total body reshaping. Okay. Total body reshaping, body composition change, toning. Basically, you're losing body fat, but you're keeping the muscle, which is going to give you nice shape. All right. So as far as cardio is concerned, you lose weight, or cardio weight loss is mostly from both muscle and fat. So you're losing muscle, which is part of your resting metabolic rate. We don't want to lose that. We want to maintain that. And then also fat. So what ends up happening is when you do most of your weight loss, okay, from cardio, you're losing both. So if you're not tight and toned now, you're not going to be tight and toned then either after you lose that weight, because you're losing muscle and fat. You're going to just be a smaller version of yourself. You will be smaller and you shrink a bit, but you're not going to really have that shape. You're still going to be a bit loose, and you're just going to a smaller version of yourself. If you're loose now, you're going to be loose then. Okay. Less fat and less muscle, but still loose, not tight and toned. Okay, so losing most of your weight through cardiovascular activity is going to make you it can make you skinny fat too, if you ever heard that term. All right. As far as weight training is concerned, for total body reshaping, that's where it's at, because weight training maintains your muscle, your lean mass, while decreasing your fat at the same time. I mean, that's what we want. And that's the definition of toning, because when you lose weight from fat, but you keep muscle on, or even build a little bit, you're going to become not a smaller version of yourself. You will a little bit, but you'll be a tighter toner version of yourself. So you're melting the fat off and the muscle staying there to be revealed. That's the definition of toning. If you don't have muscle to begin with, all right, there's nothing to tone. But if you have muscle to begin with and some fat on it, and then you go do mostly cardio, you lose muscle and the fat, you don't get that tone. The shape isn't there. You just become a smaller version of yourself and still lose. Weight training maintains that muscle that you have on you, helps you melt the fat off, and then you get that tone look and that nice shape. All right, so that's huge right there. That's the way that works. And then I have a bonus point for you guys. I'm not hating on cardio, because you don't want to hate on cardio. Cardio is like the cherry on top. Okay. When you got to have a good balance, and a good balance is, mostly weight training. For most people, maybe 3 to 5 times a week, typically 3 to 4 times a week, someone doing some sort of weight training workout. And then for cardio purposes, maybe a couple times a week. And remember, you get more calorie burn from high intensity interval training. That's that whole sprinting on the treadmill for about 30 to 60 seconds, and slowing your heart rate down by walking for about 2 minutes, then bringing it back up doing those bouts. That's a better form of cardio to lose body fat. So if it was me, I would do the 3 to 4, days a week of weight training to maintain, even build a little bit of muscle. Okay. It's going to raise your resting metabolic rate, because when you do those 3 to 4 weight training sessions a week, after the weight training is where the real calorie burn happens. Okay. And then you are left with the muscle on you or a little bit more, and the fat goes away, you get nice and toned. But again, I am not hating on cardio. Cardio has its benefits. All right. If it was me, I would do 3 to 4 times of weight training a week, and then I would go ahead and do maybe 2 or so cardio and switch it up. Maybe do high intensity one day of the week, one of the 2 days, and then another day you do some steady state. Maybe you do some interval training on a bicycle where you do bike sprints, and then you do the next time you take a class the next time, like a step or Zumba or something like that. Switch it up. 2 days of cardio, 3 to 4 days of weight training is a better prescription for fat loss and toning, is my point. But again, I'm not hating on cardio. There's health benefits to both cardio and to weight training. Cardio benefits, cardio is better for your heart and lungs than weight training is. All right. The cardio, your heart and your lungs obviously work a lot more in a cardiovascular type of workout. All right. So that is going to up your health as far as your heart and your lungs. And that's very important. All right. Very important for you. You should strive for whole fitness. Okay. And that's part of it. So cardio is way better for your heart and lungs. All right. That's a huge benefit for cardio. Benefit of weight training, or some benefits of weight training. All right. They're better for bone density. That's why you see a lot of older individuals, even seniors, doing weight training for a while now, because it's been known that, it is known that bones actually flex. Okay, bones flex. And when you do resistance or weight training, you're putting pressure on those bones and they flex. And when they flex, they adapt by becoming more dense. Just like when you lift weights, your muscles adapt by becoming stronger and a little bit bigger. All right. Well, when you do weight training, your bones flex and they become more dense. So it's an excellent resource, or it's an excellent activity for older people and seniors to do for preventative maintenance for osteoporosis. Okay. Get those bones flexing, safely though, but get those bones flexing, so to speak, to build up that bone density. So that's one major health benefit of weight training. Another benefit or health benefit of weight training is overall functioning in everyday life. You want to stay strong. You want to be able to do things like when I'm 44, when I get into my 50s, 60s, and even 70s, I want to maintain some sort of strength, some level of baseline of strength going into those years, because it will help you function better. Your mobility, your flexibility, all of those things. When you weight train, you work on all those things. So if you consistently weight train, 3-4 times a week or whatever, all the way into those later years, you're going to function better. You'll be able to run around with the young kids, or you're not going to be dependent on other people. You'll still be independent as opposed to dependent. That's one of the major things. So weight training and cardio both have major benefits. All right. So don't hate on cardio. It's just, put most of your eggs in the weight training basket if you're trying to lose body fat and tone. That's the point. And then if you guys just joined us, I did ask the question.
All right. We don't want to repeat here. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, okay. Technical difficulties. All right. There you have it. 3 solid reasons why weight training outshines cardio when it comes to fat loss and body toning. Sure, cardio has its place, especially for heart health and lung health, right? But if you want to reshape your body and keep that metabolism fired up, lifting weights is the way to go. So next time you hit the gym, grab those dumbbells and start building a stronger, leaner you. If you found this helpful, drop a comment below. Let me know. Let me know what your go-to workout is. Do you do weight training? Do you do cardio? What do you do? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. That wraps up tonight's fitness success segment. Next Monday happens to be week 4, so we'll be discussing Pillar 4, recovery measures. Recovery is key. Learn the best ways to rest, recharge, and avoid burnout both in and out of the gym. If you're interested in being a guest and joining the conversation or having your questions answered live right here on the show and you want to be on the next show, all you got to do is ask. Comment below and we'll make it happen, even for those that are watching the replay. Now let's move on to the final segment of this evening. That happens to be the Real Estate Roundup. This segment keeps you updated on the latest in the real estate world, whether you're interested in residential or commercial. This segment's got you covered. I'll invite guest experts to share insights and discuss the subjects that you would like to hear more about. If you didn't already know, I happen to be with J Nuss Realty Group. There we are right there. We are a commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm out of Braintree, Massachusetts, servicing all of Eastern Massachusetts. We specialize in commercial real estate transactions, including sales and leases, and we also consult on a variety of commercial real estate related matters, including, but not limited to, nonprofits, religious and otherwise, potentially environmentally compromised property, and transit-oriented development. Other services include commercial lease audits, and if you or anyone you know owns a commercial property and wants to know how much it's worth on the current market, we can do a commercial broker opinion of value for you. If you or someone you know is in the need of a commercial real estate professional, please contact us directly or comment under this video and we will follow up with you. And just to let you know, for you residential real estate brokers and agents out there, if you are a residential agent or broker, we work with you guys. All right. If you're in need of some commercial expertise, please don't hesitate to connect with us and contact us for assistance. All right. I'd like to know what real estate topics spark your curiosity the most, residential, commercial, or something completely different. I'd really appreciate it if you shared your thoughts in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, your input is just as valuable as the live people watching. So your feedback will guide me in creating future content for this segment. So please get those comments in on what you'd like to hear about. All right, keeping it moving. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real. Can't believe we're on episode, this is 19, I think. Yeah, it's episode 19. Whew. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn every week, except for the 5th Monday of the week. And that happens a couple of times. It's going to happen next month in March. Every week, we'll dive into important topics that will help you grow with a mix of fun and practical advice, from nutrition habits to real estate, public speaking skills to networking strategies. This show is designed to inspire you, keep it real, and of course, keep it fun. Tonight in the Core 4 of Networking segment, I shared some practical tips and a simple exercise to help you level up your listening game. Then in the public speaking segment of the show, From Stage Fright to Spotlight, we had some fun with table topics, and I invited you to my next virtual Toastmaster meeting. In the fitness success segment, I broke down 3 reasons why weight training is more effective than cardio for fat loss and toning your body. Then lastly, in the real estate roundup segment, I told you about the services of my commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm, J Nuss Realty Group. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please let me know what you liked. If you didn't, let me know that too. All feedback is welcome. If you arrived after we started or you missed any details or anything, don't worry. You can always check out the replay. Before we end tonight's show, though, I have one last thing to share with you. Every show will end on a high note with a funny meme or a short, hilarious video to keep you smiling. So please stand by for this week's funny moment. Wow, that was fun. Anyhow, thanks for joining me this evening. I can't wait to see you for more Keeping It Real. Be sure to leave your comments, share your thoughts, and don't hesitate to get involved. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and keep it real. I'll see you next week on Monday, February 24th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you guys.
I know everybody a go like. I know everybody a go like. Success don't come over.